Hi guys, Reagan here. So I had a little problem with the controller. I was using it to play GTA 5 and it was a little damaged when I got it, so you know, it's not totally my fault, but these controllers are notorious for the wiring going out right at this part. There's generally a hard plastic piece that holds the wire in place right here, and usually right at that bend a wire goes out, and well, needless to say, mine went out. Well, I had spliced the wire, which is actually a copper ground wire that runs through here. I'd spliced it and it was working, and then I let my kids use it, and then I was using it. Anyway, it went through a lot of things and it stopped working at all. And I really, like I said, I can't blame anyone specifically because the thing was falling apart in the first place. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take out all the screws. We're going to take this apart and we're going to see if we can get it up working again. I do have a question for anybody out there that's watching this, and I've watched other people's videos for fixing these controllers, and no one has had the answer that I've run across yet. So if you see somebody that does, or if you know enough about this kind of stuff to be able to answer the question, then I would appreciate it. My question is, this little module right here, what is that for? I don't know what that's for. I don't know if it's something that I can live without. I've noticed other people bypassing it when they were re-splicing the wires, which is what I'm going to do. But I don't know if it's something that is a need per se. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of it, and we're going to use the controller without it until we find out information that informs us that that causes some kind of, you know, catastrophic world event. And yeah, when my tower blows up, I will know why. So lots and lots of screws. Make sure you get them all, and some of them are longer than the other and different shaped. Keep that in mind. It's so exciting. It's like watching paint dry. Woohoo. Okay, let's see here. Come on. And the thing with these controllers is, you know, there's always lots of fumbling involved. Getting them back together is like an act of Congress, but it can be done. You just have to have a lot of patience. You have to be mindful of all the, like, the small wires for the like the vibration and all that fun stuff. Make sure that you don't completely trash them in the process, and make sure everything lines up just right. An extra pair of hands helps often when it comes to putting these back together, but they have to be patient hands. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lift this off. Be mindful of the triggers, and there you go. We have now taken apart the controller. Now, if you've got it set up like this, and it's just sitting here, and the board is sitting in like that, you'll find that putting it back together is really simple. It just slides back on. So it's not as confusing as it can seem if you have it sitting right, if you're patient enough and you don't, you know, go crazy. Anyway, the only thing that we have to mess with is this stuff here on the back of the board anyway, so even though I should probably clean this thing, it's really kind of gross. If you notice here, there's a little solder mark, and that is the wire that broke, is the copper wire that goes into here. Okay, that's our problem. So what we're going to do is try to find out where that wire came from, and hopefully it'll be some good news, and we'll just be able to strip from here and find what we need, and then solder everything together or redo those tips. I don't know what those tips look like. I'm sure somebody out there knows how to get this thing apart and take that completely off the board. Unfortunately, if you were looking for somebody with that much sense, you've clicked on the wrong channel, and I apologize now. So yeah, I don't know yeah, I really don't know. I think those are just little tips. Are they just little tips? No, they're actually soldered in. Let's take a look at the other side. Cool thing about a clear controller is you can see through. Yes. If you look, I don't know if you can see that it's down in there where that little white piece is. Let's see if I can get that clear. There it is. See down there? Those pieces are actually soldered into place. So, hey, get back in there. Nobody told you could come out. Anyway, alright, so we're going to be cutting all of these wires, all the wires. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, give myself as much room as I can. I'm going to stagger my cuts because it's easier for me personally if I stagger my cuts to make sure that everything isn't right on top of each other. When I go to reattach everything, connect all the wires, it just works better. Anyway, I'm just making words. I don't know. Okay. So once again, I have no theories on what exactly this does. I am definitely 100% sure it has some probably very important function. I don't know what that function is. It's really sticky because it used to have electrical tape wrapped around it because I don't know. Because yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and I think I don't know why wire cutters are. We're just gonna use scissors. I'll just go back to like here. Come on. And this stuff is like butter. It's so weird. This outside insulation. Okay. I always hated the way these cords were made. I'm not a fan. Okay. And then underneath all of this braiding and BS, we have what we need. There they are in there. See them? Yeah, the thing that broke is this copper one. See, look at that. You can even see where how far down it broke off. See how frayed out that is. And how it's only got like one piece. There. Let's see. You can see that. Anyway, that was our problem. That's our entire problem, start to finish. Okay. So yeah, this little copper wire is just ridiculous. It's most likely some form of ground wire. It's completely loose. It's out in the middle of everything, and it's just trouble. And it's the reason why these controllers go out. Every single one of them that I have touched that had this problem, that was why it had the problem. Okay. And then we've got all these little lovelies. And it's real simple because these are color coded. It's just the copper wire goes to the other bit of copper down here, and of course the green to green, red to red, white to white, and black to black. It's real simple. The cat is rubbing my leg, which is making concentrating virtually impossible. What I'm going to go ahead and do is fumble around a whole bunch and tie a knot in this. Because I'm going to lay that part inside the controller, and I think I can actually lay that right in there. I don't know what the clearance looks like on the other side, but I'm pretty sure that I can just lay that right in there. We'll find out when we get to that point. The other thing is I really don't want to solder this. I think I'm just going to splice them, and this is just a temporary fix because I'm going to be replacing the controller anyway, so don't want to get too carried away. Okay. Get off my board. Thank you. Get off my lawn. Right. Gently, gently, gently. Splice the wires. Alright. It's going to be my headache one. You know, I'm actually going to have to go. No, that'll work. See, the only reason why I had to cut off so much wire is because of the fact that that copper one was so bad. But I think I need to go a little bit further down with this. Because it's going to make life easier for me when I'm reassembling everything. Okay, let's see. Take it right down to the knot. And the sad part is, and this is why I'm not soldering this, is even though I'm taking all these steps and going through this trouble, honestly, this is just a temporary fix for these controllers. Just because that wire is so fragile, it just wears right back out again. So unless you continue doing this to the point that you have a 2-inch controller wire, you're just going to run yourself crazy. All right, so now I have copper wire that I need right there. It goes on the side of this black line. Okay, I'm gonna give that a twist on to there. You don't have to do so much. I'm doing so much just because. Excess. Oh, snip. There we go. Snippy, snippy. Alright. Black wire. Twisty. Alright. Technically speaking, the copper wire and the black wire can be put together because they're soldered to the same point on the board. But I've never been known to do anything easy, so I'm just going to leave those two separate. All the way up to the point where it's spliced into the black wire. Anyway, so lots of twisting. I'm trying to get that down into a small enough bit there. There we go. Which brings me to more problems with the copper wire. So I'll twist that around as well. These things make sure that copper wire is not going to hit anything on its way out of the thing. We'll wrap it with wire, or with tape. With wire, that'll help. No, that won't help. Alright. Next one. The red one. And I cut way more off of this than I needed to. I was just worried about any other damaged spots because of that wire, because it's been manhandled out of anger repeatedly by not just men. So, just to be on the safe side. Alright. Twist the bejesus out of it. Okay. Next. We have the white wire. Okay. That can go here. Ooh. Pardon the rough appearance of my fingernails. I haven't got my nails done in a while. And it's a good thing, because if I did have one done, I would be trashing them doing this crap. Okay. Some days I forget how to be girly. Anyway, it happens. Alright. White wire. Okay. There's some of that little insulation in there too, which if you have the patience, you can cut it out or off or whatever, but it's just there. It's just little fuzzies. It'll drive you nuts, cause you problems, but whatever. Alright, just cough, get it over with. I know you need to. Just skipping shit. Don't look at me like that. And twist, and twist, and twist. Okay. On your wires, and everything seems to lay down like it's supposed to. Yes, yes it does. Yay! Alright. Oh. Any clue what I did with the electrical tape? I think it might be in this drawer. There's stuff everywhere. It's amazing. Oh, there it is. There. The question is whether or not this thing works. So I'm going to see this other end of the cord. Well, I've got this out. Plug it into my computer. Ah, you hear that? That's progress. And it lights up. I don't think you can see that, but it definitely lights up. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. And then as soon as I get finished putting it back together, we will take it for a test run on the game, double check it, make sure. But don't let me get too far ahead of myself, because I also have to plug in. Well, it's gonna end. Okay. And I'll be back as soon as that gets heated up enough to where I can go ahead and get stuff glued together. Okay, I'm back. Hot glue is getting hot. Ooh, I have a multi-temp, and I always kick it up on high so it hurries up and heats up, and then I put it down on low when I'm actually doing stuff like this so I don't like screw up the board or anything. And I was going to tape these, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to encase them in hot glue, because that makes sense. And what I'm going to do is, whoa, slow down there. It's all excited. It's just going crazy. I'm going to wet the sponge I use when I solder. And that way I can wet my fingers and not burn the crap out of myself. What? Reagan use a hot glue gun and not burn the shit out of herself? Crap out of herself? Sorry. Language, I know. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put just a dab of hot glue on here. Basically what I'm doing is putting enough glue to encase the wires so that they don't touch anything and screw anything up. And if you wet your fingers, it doesn't burn as bad. Don't try this at home, kids. Adults, go for it. It's fun. No, I'm just kidding. Get off there. Bad things happened. My fingers weren't wet enough. Okay. Come on. I'm a really messy hot gluer. Don't know how not to make it a mess. Okay. So like strings of hot glue everywhere. There. Just enough to kind of encase it. There we go. Okay. Next. Let's go ahead and get that. Let's see. See, the black wire I'm not as concerned about because once again, those two get soldered, or get those two connect together down there. But I'll go ahead and do it anyway. It's another opportunity to burn myself. You can just tape these. I like to do things the hard way. Like life. But with the low temp and wet fingertips, it's not bad. Sorry about that. And I think that clears any wire. Yeah, that does. Okay. Let me get these two. I'm sure somebody out there is watching this video just screaming, going, what the hell is she doing and why? I know that because I watch other people's videos sometimes and think that in my head. I'm like, oh, why did you do it that way? That's the hard way. Or that's the wrong way. But you know what? It's just life. We all have our own way. Okay. This is what works for me. And this is what keeps me from shorting everything I own out. Just most of the stuff I own gets shorted out. Okay. Here we go. Alright, last one. And like I said, I already plugged it in, it works. I'll go and try it on a game as soon as I get done doing this. And nobody said it was going to be pretty, but it will work. So that's what's important. Then what we're going to do to make it special and really pretty is I'm going to go ahead and wad all this fun stuff up. Make sure when you're, if it does happen to come like slide apart, just make sure that your trigger buttons line up and all your stuff, hold it together and check the buttons and make sure that they out, make sure everything clicks in place and everything works. So, yeah, that should work. And twist this. Stick that in there. Grab the other half and try to perform a miracle here. The biggest thing is to not see. I don't know what kind of. Oh yeah, okay. There's enough clearance. If I just catch that wire, it should sit just on the other side of that knot. But if you notice, my copper wire is laying across things and making contact. So I'm gonna have to fix that. That's not gonna work. Here we go. More hot glue. Can I get some more hot glue? I need some more hot glue. Okay. More hot glue. Here we go. I'm just gonna hot glue right over that. There we go. And then that'll also reinforce it a little bit. Put it right up against that black cord. And wrecking anything else. Okay. Alright. Everything's in there. Buttons are all good. Okay. Now we can lay it here. Now we won't touch anything and pry it out. Okay. So again, I'm going to start here. I'm going to make sure that that knot gets caught in there so that it holds it in place. So I'm going to have to like, getting it to cooperate is never an easy task. Okay. Doesn't look like anything's touching anything it's not supposed to. Double check. Oh, we need to go that way. Go that way. There we go. Okay. Then we just kind of wiggle and squish everything back in place. Oh, there we go. All right. Double check the buttons again before I. Why are you sticking? You always stick. That's why. Because you're a busted button. Okay. Alright. Something's not lining up. And it's not these guys. It's something over here. Because that'll fit right in there. Okay. That's not a problem. Alright. There. There. I'm going to get that knot to lay right in there. Right in there. There we go. I hear clicks. Clicks are good. There we go. Yep. Okay. These screws go here. The longer screws go on the sides. Once we get one screw in on each side, that gives us enough stability to put the other ones in without too much drama, without everything popping apart on us, which really sucks. Okay, now I got two screws in. Go ahead and all right. So we've got everything, buttons. Okay, light works. Look at that. Oh, you did not just go off. Oh, I pushed it twice. Okay. There's our light. I'm gonna double check here and make sure that it's working. Yeah, that one. knot will keep that from pulling out. And if you want to, you can hot glue right around here, and it'll give it the same stability as having the piece there that used to be there that isn't there anymore. Oh god, nobody said it was gonna be pretty. And the most important part of doing this is making sure that when you put your wires, that when you splice the wires, if you have to do them that far in, like I had to because of that copper wire being broke off so far, that you don't have any of the exposed wires touching any of the board, because it will definitely short things out, and then you will have a useless controller, and there's no telling what else it could screw up. So that is yeah, well, there you go. I hope somebody got something out of this. If not, a good laugh. Well, I made a mess and burnt myself with hot glue. Okay, so I have finally got everything plugged in, and I pulled up the properties for the controller, and as you can see, all of the buttons work just fine, and I now am able to use this thing for, well, long enough until I decide to get pissed off and bang it on my desk or something and ruin it, or the wire decides to go out again further down, because these have really, really, really cheap wiring, so yeah. It's a pain in the buns, but at least this is a quick fix so that you can use your controller until you can replace it or whatever. And better than nothing, I suppose. So I hope you found this useful, and please, if you have any questions, comments, all that fun stuff, let me know down below, and like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And we'll talk to you later.